Hi, I'm Randy Morse, the founder of AuthorCloud. I'd like to take a moment right now to talk with you briefly about what it is that makes AuthorCloud different from most other publishers that you're going to find on the web. The first reason why AuthorCloud is in fact different is our singular focus on 4 fiction genres: crime, fantasy, science fiction, and romance. I don't think you'll find any other web-based publisher with a focus on those 4 genres in particular. Another thing that sets us apart is the fact that, as you can see from this very video, we're a company with a face. I think you'll find that most publishers on the web are rather anonymous. It's hard to know who is actually steering the ship, and often I certainly, as an author, which I am as well as a publisher, find myself wondering if these are actually companies run by publishers or get-rich-quick artists, if you know what I mean. Another thing that differentiates AuthorCloud from the competition is the fact that when you visit the actual AuthorCloud site, which is scheduled to launch later this summer, in the summer of 2010, you're going to find a web experience that's divided into 2 parts. The first, which is called the Reader's Gallery, is open to the public and is a place where readers will be able to find books, e-books, and audiobooks by their favorite authors in those 4 genres, as well as a very rich source of information about those writers and others who work in the areas of crime, fantasy, science fiction, and romance. The other section of the AuthorCloud site is what really sets us apart, I think, and it's going to be called the Writer's Gallery. Right away you know there's something different because you actually have to subscribe as an author to get inside the Writer's Gallery. The cost of doing this is quite minimal, it's just $5 a month, but we want to make sure that there's something of a hurdle so that the people who actually do become members of the Writer's Gallery are showing through their modest expenditure that they're serious about writing in general, and in particular writing in one of, or perhaps all 4, of the genres that we're focused on. Once inside the Writer's Gallery, writers will find a rich array of services and functions designed to help them hone their craft and to develop their skills and the confidence that they need to be successful writers in those 4 genres. When it comes to time to actually decide to publish a manuscript, for example, members in the AuthorCloud Writers Gallery will have one of 2 choices. The first is a fairly common path on the web, and that is that writers will be able to publish themselves with help from us in the sense of provided templates for manuscripts and cover design templates for covers. It's fairly simple, and there's no cost involved until the author decides to actually physically publish a book, and then it's just the modest cost of printing on demand. Again, nothing too different about that when compared with other so-called print-on-demand web-based publishers. However, we also are going to offer another layer of publishing support at AuthorCloud, and this is the one that, as a publisher, I'm extremely excited about. I have a bias, I have to state it right out, and that is that I'm not a big fan of self-published books. I understand the attractiveness of being able to simply upload a Word document into a PDF, pay a few dollars, and voila, in a couple of weeks, a bound and printed book is on your desk. Far too often, in my experience, those books are disappointments ultimately to their writers because they're usually not edited, always a bad thing when it comes to a book. They're not professionally designed or formatted, and therefore often don't look as if they're professionally formatted and designed, which is no surprise because they're not. So in the second section, in the publishing section of the Writer's Gallery, AuthorCloud authors will have a list of services that they can choose from, ranging from a reader's report, which is an overview of their manuscript developed by an experienced editor, to a substantive edit, to a copy edit, to proofreading, to formatting and design. Basically a menu of services, all of which are designed expressly to ensure that those authors that avail themselves of these services will end up with a book that they can be proud of. Now, in addition to that, books that are going through that second range of services that include professional editing and design will be released under the AuthorCloud imprint. Those are books that we're willing to stand by because we're proud of them. We'll certainly make the self-published books that authors who choose to go that route have had produced on the bookstore, in the Reader's Gallery side of the site, but those books will not be published under the AuthorCloud imprint. They'll be author-published books, which is what they are. But on the other hand, the second tier of books will be printed under our logo and will receive a different level of support as a result. I think that another thing that differentiates us from the competition is the fact that we do take full advantage of the tools and the strengths of the web. So that the experience, I think, when you start to use AuthorCloud in the summer of 2010 will be something of a combination of experiences that you would expect from dealing with a traditional book publisher, dealing with other web-based print-on-demand publishers, and using social networking sites that many of you already use, such as Facebook, MySpace, and social networking tools such as Twitter. Those kinds of experiences will all be woven together into AuthorCloud, and we believe that the sum of all of those parts will result in an absolutely unique experience for both writers and readers of crime, fantasy, science fiction, and romance literature. So those are a few things that I think do differentiate us from the other publishers on the web. And certainly if you have any questions about this, we'd love to hear from you. Just send us an email at info@authorcloud.com and we'll be glad to get back to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, stay tuned to this site for new features and fresh information, and look for the release of our full-blown commercial site in the summer of 2010. Thanks very much for watching.